not like a traditional teriyaki sauce, but it's really delicious. With this sauce, I can show you how to make teriyaki chicken with seitan meat, and then I'm going to show you how to make orange chicken with the same seitan. Just deep fry it and make a really delicious sauce out of this teriyaki. Then with this, I can also make chili garlic sauce. It's all variations of one sauce. This is like the Asian version of the mother sauce. So those of you that went to culinary school know that there's 5 mother sauce, right? The acronym is BETTHV. So B is God, it's been so long. Bechamel. E is for Espanol sauce. T is for classic tomato. H is for hollandaise, and then V is for velouté. So yeah, I remember all of it, but it took me a little bit. So in here, in the pot, I have 1 quart of water, which is 4 cups. So 4 cups or 1 quart of water. And then to that, we're gonna add 1 quart of soy sauce. I'm using Aloha soy sauce because I like the taste of Aloha soy. I grew up in Hawaii, so whenever I find Aloha soy sauce, I buy it. I buy it by the gallon jug. So I found it in Las Vegas Costco. I also found it in the local Asian market, Lily's. I think it's Vietnamese people, but they sell all kinds of food in that supermarket. And where is that? Is that in? I think it's still in Mesa. Yeah. So 1 quart each of water and soy sauce. Yes, it's gonna have quite a bit of sugar. 1 quart of sugar also. And then I have about 3/4 cup of large diced carrots. I'm gonna actually turn on the heat right now so the liquid will come to boiling temperature. And then I have about 1 quart of chopped onions, large dice. So we're gonna put. It needs to have good amount of onion for the really savory, delicious flavor. Then I have about 6 large cloves of garlic. So the garlic, we're just gonna smash it. We don't really have to chop it. We're just kind of releasing all the garlic flavor by just kind of like smashing it. Garlic into my teriyaki, and then I have, this is about, I don't know, about a 1/4 cup of ginger. So I'm gonna kind of like it's been peeled, and I'm just gonna do the same thing with the ginger. I'm just gonna try to release the juice. And then put it right into the mix. Alright, and then the final ingredient, the pineapple. So this is a 20-ounce can of diced pineapple. It needs to be canned. The fresh one doesn't quite really have the same flavor profile. I mean, like, I can just take, if I refrigerate this, I'll eat this whole can with the juice and all. So to the sauce, we're gonna add everything. The pineapple, the juice, and we're just gonna add it, and we're gonna let it come to a simmer. If you wanted to add some sweet cooking wine to it, you can at this point. I have some Korean brand of sweet cooking wine. I'm gonna just put a little, like maybe about 1/4 cup, which is about 4 tablespoons. So we're gonna let this come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, we're gonna turn it down to a simmer. And then when it simmers, for about 20 minutes. We're going to turn it off and let it cool. But before you let it cool, we need to strain all the things in there, all the vegetables. I mean, if you wanted to, you could puree this, but it's just not gonna have a sheen to it if you puree all the vegetables in it. In the restaurant, I used to just blend everything together because we went through so much of this, we didn't have time to strain it. And then it also added a little more flavor to the teriyaki sauce. But for at home, this sauce is gonna last a long time, especially like a quart each of sugar, soy sauce, and water. That's already 3 quarts of sauce. Good thing about this, you can make a bunch and put it in the refrigerator. It'll be good for a month. If you put it into the freezer, it'll even last longer. But you can also make it and give it to your friends, right, in a mason jar as a gift. So we're gonna come back after when this boils. Okay, so when it comes to a boil like this, you're gonna turn it down to a simmer. And then as you turn it down to a simmer, you see all that impurities that comes out of the vegetables? It's mainly out of the sugar and the vegetables. So we're gonna kind of skim all that. So when we're making teriyaki sauce, we're cooking the vegetables down in the soy sauce and water to impart some of that vegetable flavor to make it that really delicious teriyaki flavor. So if you had like mushroom scraps or vegetable that you need to use up, like if you have mushrooms, you can throw mushrooms in here if you wanted to make it taste like mushrooms. Or if you have like a lot of apples and you want to use up your apple, you can also put apple in here. You can put other types of fruits in here, you know, instead of just pineapple. But I just like the taste of pineapple with the soy sauce in here. When I did make my recipe for the teriyaki chicken, it tasted really good with the pineapple. So okay, so we're gonna skim as best as we can. And then this is still kind of high, so I'm going to turn it down even lower so that it's like almost to a boil, but not really. Because we don't really want a lot of this liquid to evaporate. What we want to do is kind of like down the cells of the fiber cells of the vegetable to release this juice. And we want some of the juice from the vegetables to evaporate, which is mostly the acidic part. So yeah, that's why we're cooking it down in a lower temperature. So I got most of the impurities out, and I'm just gonna turn it down even lower. So this is a good heat right here. You see it's just barely bubbles coming out. Okay, that's a lot of bubbles. Never mind. I'm gonna turn it down even more. So you barely see bubbles, but there's like a little bit of activity still. We're still moving. We're gonna let this go for another 20 minutes like this, and then I'm gonna show you what to do next. Alright, so it's been about 20 minutes, and then you see the vegetables have kind of turned from opaque to translucent. So we're gonna take these out and put it into the strainer. So optional, if you wanted to use the vegetables, you can just blend this whole thing into a blender. I mean, if you have a high power blender, you can blend this whole thing and make sauce out of the whole thing. Just know that it will not be as like clear and shiny as if you took out all the vegetables to make teriyaki sauce. So the main thing is to get all the veggies out. So what I'm actually gonna do, I'm also going to strain it into another pan.
So I'm gonna put this on top of a bowl. And I'll have a strainer here. And I'll carefully strain it right into this pan. See, I missed a bit, so after I strain it, I'm gonna put it back into my pot.
And I have 6 tablespoons of potato starch. I like to use potato starch as a slurry because cornstarch tends to lose its strength after you boil it. And then after you boil it and you let it sit a while, it starts to lose its slurry strength. So I take 6 tablespoons of potato starch. I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of water.
I'm gonna mix this well. I mean, you don't
want to just add your starch right to the hot mixture. Otherwise, you'll have lumps. And then you're going to be like, you have to use a blender or a stick blender to get everything out. So what I do with this is I take
some of the hot liquid, pour it into my slurry to thin it out a little more. So that way the temperature is similar, and then I just put it right into the sauce. And now I'm going to bring it back to a boil. And see how much more of the sauce that came out of the vegetable. So I'm going to squeeze as much juice I can out of the vegetables back into the slurry mixture. So this sauce is
mainly to put a glaze on something just before you eat it. It's not really to marinate things in because of the slurry. So this is more like a finishing sauce. So if you're grilling a piece of vegetables and you want to have nice glistening, like flavorful sauce on top of it, you take a brush and brush the top.
It should thicken up. I don't like to have it too thick because then when you cook out the starch, the bottom will burn. And you need to cook out that starch flavor. So this, I mean, after cooking, you'll be left with about 2.5 quarts to 2 3/4 quarts of sauce.
I may have to add a little more potato starch, because this is a recipe I cut down from a huge recipe. So, you know, it's gonna have some variation. So I'm gonna add about 2 more tablespoons.
Look at that. Oh my god.
So just gently stir as it comes to a boil. Yeah, 8 tablespoons is perfect. And then I'm gonna taste this. I haven't tasted yet. I tasted a little off camera when the vegetables were actually in it. Look, I'm slurring my speech because I'm so excited about tasting this sauce. Oh my god, it's so shiny and glistening. So good. I can just eat this with like plain rice. Steamed rice with this. Oh. Kids will love it.
So I like my sauce a little like this. I don't like it too thick. Yeah. So once it
comes to a boil, the starch flavor is going to be cooked out, and you're going to be left with a little thicker. You want it to coat the back of your spoon, but not like leave like quarter-inch of like sauce after you, you know. Look at that nice glisten.
Look how shiny that looks. Oh.
I'm telling you, this tastes so freaking delicious. I mean, like if it's cool enough, I can literally drink this. If you like it a little spicier, you can add about a tablespoon of whole black pepper, kind of like smushed in the on a cutting board with like, after you toast it a little, you put it on your cutting board, let it cool, then you take your like a pot and just smush it a little so it cracks slightly, and you can throw it in with your vegetables if you want it a little spicy. But this tastes so good.
So this is pretty much almost ready. I'm gonna get a white plate to show you the consistency. So here's a white plate. This looks so good. Look at this. Just barely. Oh yeah, it just coats. See how the line stays a little? Okay, now it's about to come to a boil. So see how the line stays when you take it apart? So now it's coming to a boil. Oh, beautiful. We're gonna turn it off.
Let it cool, and then I'm also shooting another video about making WTF chicken. You know that, not what the chicken, it's a water wash flour chicken. So it's a vegan seitan. So we have the sauce made ready. I'm gonna show you how to use this glaze when you're cooking to make like teriyaki chicken. Okay?
So I'm gonna take the pan, turn it on high. I have some oil in there already. I'm gonna place my whole piece of seitan, and then the shredded one next to it. And I made this beautiful teriyaki glaze. So once this kind of like gets nice and crispy on the outside, and I get a little bit of color on these other shredded pieces of seitan, I'm gonna add my glaze. So for these pieces here, I usually cooked it with the sauce and kind of like reduce it a little. My mouth is watering.
If you wanted to make it extra flavorful, you can add a little bit more soy sauce in here, and a little bit of garlic,
and a little bit of ginger. You could do that while you're cooking this. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it down to low, and I'm gonna add my teriyaki glaze to this. seitan over. And the bigger piece, I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna brush on the glaze. Let me turn this over and glaze this piece. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off now. Oh. I made some steamed rice and I sauteed some, I had some asparagus and mushroom and green onions in the refrigerator, so I kind of like made a little quick saute with the vegan oyster sauce and a little bit of garlic. On here. Oh my god. I shouldn't eat this much when it's this late, but I'm so hungry. I didn't eat lunch. And it's like 8 o'clock at night. I really shouldn't eat this much at night. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the plate. We made the teriyaki chicken. Oh my god. You know, I'm gonna need some of that sauce on my rice too. I normally don't put sauce on my rice, but this sauce is so freaking good. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna cut into the big piece first because it's the suspense of it looking like chicken meat. Yeah, it does have the texture of like, let's taste it. Texture is like chicken, but you get that vital wheat flavor, vital wheat gluten flavor. Let me taste the shredded one. The shredded one has more flavor of the teriyaki because I finished it, and there's more surface area that gets the sauce in there. I'm gonna taste some of the sauce. Rice with the sauce on there. This teriyaki sauce. With this teriyaki sauce, I'm gonna show you how to make orange chicken and chili garlic chicken. This sauce, I mean, you will never buy another bottle teriyaki sauce once you learn how to make this. The taste of soy sauce, and then you get that sweetness from the sugar, and then you taste all the other vegetables they put in there, and you get two different kinds of sweetness, one from the pineapple, a little bit acidic.
garlic and the ginger to mellow out all that sweetness. And then when you eat everything together with the mushrooms and the asparagus and the green onion, with the seitan, I mean, this looks like chicken.
Oh. If I served it to a non-vegan, they would probably mistake this for chicken, the way it looks. But
It will have that little bit of vital wheat gluten flavor. Actually, the shredded ones don't have a strong vital wheat gluten flavor. And because I put flour in there, that little bit of flour that didn't get washed out along with the vital wheat gluten, you get that texture of, like, you know, those of you that used to eat chicken, used to get like a piece of chicken with like a little bit of fat on it. That's what it reminds me of. Like this piece right here. You can tell that.
this is part of like the flour that didn't get rinsed out all the way.
I mean, texture is like dead on. And then with this really delicious teriyaki sauce, oh. So good. If I were to make teriyaki chicken, I wouldn't leave it whole. I would shred it. I would shred all of it and then cook it in there with the
Sauce, because that sauce makes that gluten flavor kind of like it masks it really well. That's what I'm actually gonna do right now. I'm gonna shred this. I know, it's just for myself, so it's okay. I would never do this at a restaurant, right? So once it's shredded like this, I would go back. I should have just cooked one piece because it's a lot of seitan. Now just imagine this. Bread it, I mean like in the batter and deep fried nice and golden brown. And we make this really delicious orange chicken sauce. And you're gonna gloss over that. So while this cooks, I'm gonna finish eating this seitan right here. So Peter making this version of WTF seitan, I would say is water. So I would even go 4 cups instead of 3.5, because the more hydrated the gluten is, the softer the texture.
This is so good. It's gonna be so hot. And for those of you who likes it spicier, I have sriracha. Put a little sriracha. Oh, it would be good sauteed. All gone. That was a big plate of food. I'm so full. But that was delicious. I have so much teriyaki sauce. But I'm going to show you how to use it up. Especially making orange sauce and the chili garlic. So those are going to be my next two videos. Watch out for those. Press the like button. Share it with all your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, lately I've been doing a lot of real estate training, so I haven't been uploading as much as I want to, but you know, soon things will balance out. So yeah, if you are ever curious about Arizona, moving here maybe, let me know. I'm your guy. Or if you are already in Arizona and you're thinking about buying, let me know. Or selling. Okay, enough about that. Thanks for watching the video and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time, okay? Bye!